The 2007 honey trials. Bees sue the human race and win. And they won in more ways than you might think. But what was really behind this sensational case? 17 years later, we look back on the famous bee trials after the truth surfaces that dark honey was behind the whole ordeal. The case was fabricated as a ploy to sell more honey. The judge, lawyers, the jurors, they were all in on it. These were bad actors, and they were very good. They fooled everyone. Defense counsel Leighton Montgomery, a heavy-set man from Georgia, may have been the only one who wasn't involved in this hellacious scheme initially.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let me ask you this question. What is honey? It is not the bee's exclusive property. It is nature's gift that is willing to be obtained freely by anybody who has the means to collect it.
But he soon got tangled in the hive of sticky truths. He was eventually stung by the corporate greed of big honey. Barry the Bee. He was the face of the scandal.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, y'all. Us bees make our honey day and night. We sweat our backs off, and we don't deserve the hate we get from humans. We're here today to fight for our honey and get it back and get what we deserve.
But there were other dark overlords pulling the strings. You wouldn't believe the depths of the bee trickery.
Mr. Montgomery, it is now your turn to cross-examine.
The judge who presided over the case didn't even pass the bar exam. This federal judge was a Trump appointee who was really a barista at Starbucks.
Mr. Benson, you stand here accusing humans of exploitation, of committing greed, fraud. But let's break it down. Your honey is a commodity, a precious commodity, but a commodity nonetheless. Buying it, selling it, and using it for centuries. Are we not allowed to make a fair trade?
It's not about the trade, it's about taking from our work. We think that we're getting exploited from the humans.
Exploitation? Mr. Benson, let's not pretend. Mr. Benson, the humans have been using honey in their lives for centuries. In their teas, in their foods, in their beauty products.
You think bees just make honey for fun? You don't just take someone's work because you can. I don't take your house you just built because I can. I don't do that. I'm a bee. It's exploitation.
The money behind the trial was so dark, it needed a flashlight. The case divided the country. Vanessa and Ken were a happy couple, but their differences in sweeteners put a deep crack in their relationship.
I don't know. I eat honey all the time. Doesn't that mean it's mine now?
Ugh, Ken, please. Not now.
Late in 2007, the bees won.
Your Honor, humans have been taking our honey for decades. We work day and night to create it, only for it to be taken without consent. The bees are being exploded. It's time for us to get what we deserve.
With one bang of the gavel, the judge declared a landslide victory for the bees. This was before we would learn the unbelievable plot twist in the story. We caught up with Barry the Bee shortly after he won the famous honey case.
So you're Barry?
Sorry, yes.
Tell us a little about yourself, Barry.
So, I'm Barry, I'm a bee. I talk all that buzz, all that street gang stuff. Black and yellow, yellow and black. You know the deal. You like jazz?
Mr. Montgomery, you were doing pretty well in the trial. Where do you think it went wrong?
I think we had a miscommunication with the jury, especially on the fact that, times change. And I think the
But
jury
you
really
made a
missed that
comment
point.
about the jury miscommunicating.
Yes.
Was there an issue with juror number 5?
There was a little issue with juror number 5. We tried to get a new jury in there. There were some familiar connections, but the judge did not share our opinion.
All right, so the prosecutor in the trial said you mishandled the case. How do you feel about that?
In my opinion, this case was a waste of my time. It was a case in which a bee was suing a human. Never during my time in law school, during my time in internships, did I ever think I would be dealing with a case like this, and honestly, I'm just happy it's over.
So, juror number 5, you ruled in favor of the bees, but is it true that you were coerced into that vote?
Well, I have to say, they actually set me up with a condo in Cabo, and I love it!
So I don't get it. Juror number 5 was paid by the honey industry to vote against honey? For honey? It doesn't make any sense. What was the end run on this?
I think Mr. Benson tried to set up an elaborate scheme to harm the planet, to harm the human civilization as a whole, and quite frankly to harm himself. I mean, if you look at where he is today, he's drunk on the streets. He doesn't care. He's living in squalor and disarray, and I think that was his idea from the beginning.
So years later, Barry, who won the case, became a drunkard and is a hobo in Providence. What do you make of that?
To be honest, it's not surprising to me. I think he took the entire case as a joke, and to him it was a social hour.
I farted on the screen.
That was so bad! Order in my court!
In 2015, Vanessa was arrested and convicted on tax fraud charges for failing to pay over $350 million in federal taxes. She laundered dark honey profits through her florist business.
So after the trial, what happened to you and Ken?
We broke up. I chose Barry over him because I thought that Barry's saving the human race was better than Ken, especially since he would get angry about things like frozen yogurt.
So how does that work out with a human and a bee?
I don't even know how to answer that.
The senior gets in the way sometimes, but it's alright.
I like to keep that private. That's between me and him.
Are you still together with Barry?
At the moment, yes. I'll pretend I am.
Is it true that he is homeless, living in Providence by the Providence Place Mall? So you lost your girlfriend to a bee, who's now a drunkard in Providence, living on the streets.
Yeah, well, I mean, bad things happen to all of us, and definitely happened to him for sure, so.
So, do you put honey in your tea?
No, I don't like honey. I like artificial sweeteners made by man!
In the USA. So why didn't you disclose that you were related to the defense counsel?
Well, what's really interesting is I did disclose that. However, this case was just so corrupt in its entirety that no one said anything and no one cared. And quite frankly, that is why I'm embarrassed to be a part of it.
But who was at the heart of the corruption?
Hunex Industries.
Hunex. So Hunex created this whole debacle, saying they were being exploited, but they were actually the exploiter?
Listen, any publicity is good publicity, whether it's negative or positive. I think this was just a way for them to make more money.
So is it true that you buy your flowers from the Hunron Corporation?
Should I say yes or should I say no? How should I go with that?
Well, how about the truth?
So.
There are reports that the whole conspiracy was your idea. That you created this whole thing and profited from it.
How do I go with that?
Are you exploiting honey? Are you really the queen of honey? Big honey?
I think the publicity from the trial really helped my business grow. I didn't really start that thing, but I think all the trial brought publicity and made more customers come and made my store more popular.
So it was your idea. You are Queen Honey. Well, there are reports that have been coined new things called dark honey. I didn't even know dark honey was a thing, but you're apparently the overlord of dark honey.
My client will answer no further questions at this time.
It's true that their profit margins quadrupled after the court case, but it nearly destroyed the planet. Were they willing to destroy the planet to increase their profit margins?
I mean, it's all in the writing. They made billions and billions more, yet the environment completely declined. They did nothing to fix any of it, and quite frankly, all of their top CEOs are living lavishly.
So is it true you never got hired for another court case after the famous bee trial?
The whole case, quite frankly, was ridiculous. The fact that, the judge even took up the case was ridiculous. I mean, the jurors...
So scandal, jury tampering, defiance of the human race, were the bees making a mockery of your court?
I should have thrown the case out the second that it went across my desk.
In 2020, things went off the rails for Barry. He discovered honey liqueur, and he was never really the same after that.
So I don't get it. You won the case, you had everything.
They threw me out of the hive after the world went to crap. Even though I was the one who saved their butts. Their butts wasn't even in the game. I was in the game. I ran the game. And they decided to throw me out, and all I have is my alcohol and my Vanessa, who's always hanging around with her new boy toy, Adam, my old friend. Bum. Ah! I won the case. They lost. What are we even asking questions for anymore? I'm a drunk, you're a loser, get behind your camera, come over here and fight me, I'll knock your out.
10 years later, Barry the Bee.
He squandered his millions in honey proceeds and became homeless and angry. In the end, dark honey loses. This has been an NBC Special Report. You can take all the tea in China, put it in a big brown bag for me, yeah. Sail right round all the 7 oceans and drop it straight into the deep blue sea.
She's as sweet as Tupelo honey. She's an angel of the first degree, yeah. She's as sweet as Tupelo honey. Just like honey, baby, from the bee.
You can't stop us on the road to freedom. You can't keep us 'cause our eyes can see, yeah. Men with insight, men in granite, knights in armor bent on chivalry.
She's as sweet as Tupelo honey. She's an angel of the first degree, yeah. She's as sweet as Tupelo honey. Just like honey, baby, from the bee.
can't stop us on the road to freedom. You can't stop us 'cause our eyes can see, yeah. Men with insight, men in granite, knights in armor bent on chivalry.
She's as sweet as Tupelo honey. She's an